Hi everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at the files you can actually download once you've purchased the 3D file from Design Scan Print 3D. We're going to then open up the files, see what's inside them and see how we can quickly rescale the figures to be any size that you wish for your model railway. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, so when you buy a figure off the store, you are just getting the digital download, you're not getting the physical product. And the way to do that is just like any other shopping cart. You come through here, add it to a shopping cart and go through the checkout process and download the files. You should receive a link straight to download, and you should also receive an email link as well. Once you download the file, you'll receive a zip file like this. And so you'll need to extract the zip file. Like so, and then you'll see a list of all the files that are included. So we have some 3D files here, and I'll go through them in a second, and also 2 preview files, which will help you if you buy multiple ones. It'll just help you to catalogue all the ones that you have. So included in the file you have got a mix file, and that works with a bit of software called Meshmixer, which we'll go into in a second. You also have these OBJ files. OBJ files are what can be imported into your 3D printing software. In the mix file, this is a very simple editing bit of software for each of your 3D files. So at the moment we have one that's scaled to a 16mm garden railway scale with support, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. We also have a full height version here, so when we do a 3D scan we know exactly how high each character is. So in this case the driver is about 1.6 meters high. But first of all, let's look at the file you receive. In Windows there is normally a previewer, and you can just click and drag and you'll see the file that you have ready for 3D printing. But let's open up the mix file. So this is Autodesk Meshmixer. There's a link to download that on the website, designscanprint3d.co.uk/resources. And the Meshmixer is just a free bit of software. But the thing that I'm going through today is how to rescale these to fit the type of railway that you have. Now at the moment each download comes in the 16mm garden railway size and scale. That's just like kind of historic really. This is the first scale that I really worked with, and then we've sort of carried it on into G scale and 7/8 scale as well. But because 16mm sits in the middle of them two scales, it's really easy to go up and down by a certain degree each time. So for a G scale we're going to be smaller than this, and for a 7/8 we're going to be even bigger. But if you wanted to have your own custom one, you maybe want a couple of millimeters higher, a couple of millimeters smaller to fit into a different loco, then you know this allows you to do that really easily. So in the file now you'll see we have the 3D file, which is the 3D scan, which is the driver, and we also have these supports. These supports are used in 3D printing to make sure that when we print, these areas that are overhanging actually print properly. The way a 3D printer works is it starts at the bottom layers and builds up and builds up and builds up, but if there's nothing directly underneath an overhang it'll fail and these won't print. You'll just end up with a big gloop of molten plasticky stuff. So these supports are in there, and I'll go through in another video how to set these up in case you want to change them or your 3D printer isn't quite working with these. These have been tested on my printers at here, and that's why they're left in this file. But again, we'll cover that in a different video. This I just want to quickly show you how to rescale it. So we got these option bars on the left hand side, and the only one we want to click on is edit, and it brings up a load of different options again for you to edit your 3D model. But in this instance all we're doing is scaling, so we're going to go to transform. And we have got these gizmos here we can use to transform the character. but we're not going to use them at the moment. So what I'm going to look at here is the accuracy side of things. So we've got the size, X, Y and Z. X is width essentially, Y is the height, and Z is the depth. So at the moment we can see here that the 60mm scale version is 85mm high. Now I know from calculation a G scale version of this should be approximately 71mm. So I'll type that in there, hit enter, and that's just shrunk it down by the correct amount. Click accept. So once we've got this file here in the right scale, we need to export it as an OBJ file for your 3D printer to print it out. So click export. Let's open up the file again so it's all nice and neat. And then we are going to rename, well sorry, not rename, we'll just click on that to change the file name of the one we're going to save, and let's call this G scale with supports. And you see it's the OBJ file format, which is a very universal file format. Everywhere should accept that. Just click continue if you get a message like that. And so now we have got the 60mm version, but we've also got the G scale version with supports. And you can create whatever size you want if you want to go even bigger. So let's make this even higher to say 7/8 scale, which is 116mm. We now have that at the correct height to 3D print at. So that's how we take files that we've downloaded off the store, we've unzipped them, we've opened up the mix file for the Meshmixer program, rescaled it, and then re-exported it for 3D printing. I hope the process is pretty clear for everybody, but if not, just drop a comment below. And of course, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for new videos. Over the next week or two, we'll probably be looking again at Meshmixer, as well covering the supports that we briefly spoke about in this video as well, how to set them up and how to make use of them properly. But for now, enjoy your model railways and 3D printing, and we will be back soon. Take care everybody. Ta-ta.